Did you know that crime victims have the right to notice? This right is granted in federal court through the Crime Victims' Rights Act, which says that the right to notice is the right to reasonable, accurate, and timely notice of any public court proceeding or any parole proceeding involving the crime, or of any release or escape of the accused. Every state has a similar provision that affords crime victims the right to notice. The right to notice is important because it has to be triggered for victims to be able to participate in the criminal justice system. At its core, providing victims with notice of proceedings helps to ensure fairness and due process. Because victims' rights and lives are affected by these proceedings, they have a right to know about specific events taking place throughout the criminal justice process so that they can get more involved if they so wish. In some states, there may be procedures victims have to comply with to enter a request to trigger their right to notice. Different states have different specific requirements for requesting notice. For example, at least one state requires victims to register their request with a prosecutor. Some states require a written request of notice and others don't. Because there's a lot of variation, it's a good idea to check with an attorney or contact NCVLI to learn more about what the procedures are to request notice in a particular state. Once victims assert their right to notice, the notice has to be meaningful. For example, the notice must be far enough in advance for the victim to make arrangements if he or she wants to get more involved with the proceedings, and the notice has to be detailed enough for the victim to know specifically what proceeding will be occurring. The right to notice is victims' gateway right, meaning that if the right to notice isn't afforded to victims, then they can't take advantage of other rights they have as victims. Some of these other rights include the right to be present, the right to be heard, the right to reasonable protection, the right to restitution, and more. Of course, even though victims have the right to notice, it doesn't mean they have to exercise it. If victims don't want to be notified of criminal justice proceedings, they don't have to be. The right to notice allows victims to take advantage of other rights and paves the way for meaningful inclusion in the criminal justice system that can be empowering. Now you know a little bit more about the right to notice. For more information, NCVLI has published a number of in-depth bulletins, including one that addresses 12 common victims' rights. These are available for download on our website in the Law Library. NCVLI can also provide more specific information and resources to members of the victims' rights community. To submit a request for assistance, please visit our website and fill out the online request form. Victims deserve to be treated fairly in the criminal justice system. NCVLI is here to help.